This camera does some pretty weird stuff that I have never seen another indoor camera do. What? What?
I'm watching you.
Hello. Hiya. Thanks to Ezviz for sponsoring today's video and for sending me their Ezviz C6 pan and tilt camera. This camera works with Amazon's Echo Show and Fire TV devices, but seemingly not Google Home, which doesn't bother me in the slightest. We'll turn the air purifier off. On? No, it's already on. Turn it off. On? No, off. On. No, off! Turn the f***ing air purifier f***ing off! You f***ing off! 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 On? Poor Hibbert, the same jokes every week. It has a spinny exorcist head that can do an almost full 360 degrees, and it uses AI to follow you around the room. It has sound detection for monitoring babies. Wow. It has both local storage and cloud storage options, a physical privacy shutter, night vision, and 2K image quality that produces some of the best images I've seen from an indoor camera, and the ability to record your own warning messages should a burglar appear.
I'm watching you.
It has both 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi and 5 GHz Wi-Fi built in, which is really unusual for an indoor camera, but what makes it even more unusual is it has an Ethernet port on the back, making this one of the most robust indoor cameras I've tried to date. I don't mean date, I mean I haven't tried to date the camera, not some kind of camera file. In today's video, we'll be doing some side-by-side comparisons for picture quality, notification speed. We're going to test out the PTZ control and also test out some of the weirder functionality of this camera to see whether this absolute beast is in fact an absolute beast. Spoiler alert, it's an absolute beast. The camera comes with a power supply, a mounting bracket, some screws, and a very long micro USB cable. The SD card slot can take up to 256GB memory cards, which is way bigger than any other camera I've tried so far, and the SD card is inserted into the camera's head, which is a bit of a shame because for some reason I've always preferred putting it in the base. And then you scan a QR code on the base of the camera to add it to the app, at which point it will ask for your Wi-Fi details, and you can connect it to either your 2.4 GHz Wi-Fi or your 5 GHz Wi-Fi. In my experience, Ezviz have always done one thing better than any other manufacturer, and that is to notify me about humans and only humans, instead of, oh, I don't know, an ungodly amount of cat anuses. And so the Ezviz C6 has a variety of sensors and artificial intelligence built in to detect wandering humans, annoying humans, and things that aren't humans. And you can choose to receive notifications about one, two, or all three of these things. Possibly the strangest feature, though, is the gesture recognition service, where a stranger can wave at the camera, as demonstrated by this bored-looking girl. Hello, darkness, my old friend. And what it'll do is the camera will place a call to the Ezviz app in your pocket so that you can have a back and forth with the person that waved. If anyone can tell me what this feature is for, I would be very grateful. Pets detection does what you would expect it to do. monitors for your pets. If it finds a pet, it sends you footage of your pet. It's very cute. It does, however, state that this is an experimental feature and that a risk assessment should be carried out before using it because it could be triggered by puppets. Puppets? That's what it says. What puppets? What risk? What the... Abnormal sound sensing is basically for baby monitoring. It hears an abnormal sound and sends you a message. You open the message, you view the footage. The only difficulty with this is if you've set it to its highest setting, it is super sensitive. And if your baby shuffles a little bit too loudly in its cot and you've accidentally left the warning tone on, this is gonna happen.
I'm watching you.
Wah. You can of course adjust the sensitivity and also pick from a very long list of different noise types. Big noise. It's your only choice. Big noise. It takes 8 seconds from a thing happening, meh, to the notification arriving. And that's even shorter than Jeff Bezos' pilot episode for his new show.
Hi, I'm Jeff Bezos, and welcome back to my new show, Not Enough Yachts. I'm here in Dipton. Not enough yachts.
This is marginally better than the other 2 cameras I've been comparing it to for this review. My SwitchBot and my AQARA cameras both have a second or 2 delay behind the Ezviz solution. But the lag time for the Ezviz is leagues ahead. It's probably the fastest I've ever seen any IP camera react, and you can see that in my thumbs up test here. In low light levels, the Ezviz destroys the other 2 cameras thanks to its 2K sensor, with an obvious lack of details in the SwitchBot and AQARA cameras at a distance, with the only exception being that the AQARA camera seems to be better at focusing on very close objects. The Ezviz C6 also seems to have a better frame rate than most IP cameras at 25 frames per second, and this is really evident when you look at the sign I'm holding as it moves. Watch carefully. Can you see what the sign says? Notice that? With the Ezviz camera that's always legible in every frame without any smearing? Now do what the sign says. If you don't, Channel 4 won't pick up Jeff Bezos' series, and you'll never find out if there are enough yachts in Mablethorpe. Spoiler alert, there aren't.
Not enough yachts.
The Ezviz solution really comes into its own in very low light levels, and its starlight night vision looks just like daylight. But Ezviz have seriously Dumbledored this. Just like the time that Dumbledore declared Slytherin the winners of the House Cup, and then snatched it away from them unceremoniously at the last second, Ezviz gave us the perfect camera for pointing out of a window, and then gave us no way to turn the infrared lights off. Don't! Seconds after that footage was taken, it switched itself to infrared mode because it decided it had gotten too dark outside, at which point the infrared lights bounced straight off the window back into its own face and blinded the camera. And this is a major issue because I want to turn that off so I can point it out of a window at the street and monitor things that are going on and have all the pan and tilt and zoom functionality. Can't do it. Can't do it. I've contacted Ezviz and I'm waiting for them to tell me if they're going to do a firmware update or whatever. If they do get back to me and tell me there will be a firmware update, I shall let you know in the description for this video. Go check there to see if it's been resolved. I forgot to test all 3 cameras at night time, and so I actually had to build myself a pillow fort, which was way more fun anyway. But the upshot is that the SwitchBot camera actually wins out for this category, and I think it's actually in fairness to do with the close proximity. The Ezviz doesn't like you pushing your face right up against the lens. What I will say is that I think with a bit of distance, the C6 would have won because it's got the 2K sensor and therefore will have more detail at distance. So obviously this review focuses quite heavily on the Ezviz solution because I've done a full review of the other two cameras before. I'll link you in the description to those if you're interested. So it kind of makes sense to do a what's wrong with it section in this video for the Ezviz camera. So here it is. The only other thing other than the LEDs not being able to be turned off is the price. This is not a cheap camera, and I know, there have been people watching this video going, no, it's a different price bracket! These cameras are in completely different price brackets! He's f***ing comparing to Ezviz to something that's way cheaper! It's ridiculous! I ain't putting it! I hate him! I'm just going to say it, I probably should have compared it to the Eufy PTZ camera because that is its market competition. The only reason I didn't is because I didn't think of it. I thought of it after I'd already filmed the load of this episode and had already sat scripting. I thought, damn it, I should have probably have bought one of those. This does give you, however, a good way of establishing if you want to upgrade from a 1080p camera to a 2K camera. I have compared some of the stats of the Eufy PTZ to this thing, and this thing has an Ethernet port, which that doesn't. This thing has 25 frames per second, and the Eufy has 15 frames per second. Both of them have RTSP, and there's not much in it apart from that. The Eufy camera is cheaper. I'm not going to lie, this is an unbiased review. The Eufy camera is quite a bit cheaper than this camera is, and I wish I'd got them side by side so I could tell you which one was better. No camera has it all. The Switchbot camera, for example, has the ability to trigger Alexa routines when motion is detected, and that is awesome. But it doesn't have sound detection. And considering that main functionality is a baby monitor doesn't have sound detection is kind of a huge shame, and I said that during my review of that camera. It also doesn't have 2K Picture or the PTZ functionality. The AQARA camera has free cloud storage, HomeKit support, and some really cool automations. But it doesn't have pet detection functionality, and it can't make it look like someone's watching.
I'm watching you.
The Ezviz C6 is the only indoor camera in my collection that has RTSP support, which means that it can record straight to my NAS storage drive on my property and therefore doesn't need the cloud at all, and an Ethernet port for ultimate reliability. And my final point of note is this. This is one of few cameras that I actually trust to point at things in my house knowing that it's secure. I don't want my baby ending up on worldsmosthandsomebabies.com. Not again. Somebody right now is looking, worldsmosthandsomebabies.com, does that exist? Oh, I'm now on a register. Don't do that! All of these cameras have two-way talk functionality, decent enough audio quality to have a back and forth conversation, and so it really does come down to whether or not you're looking for a camera with a spinny head, RTSP support, and whether or not you actually value the extra frame rate. All the cameras featured in today's video are available in the description below. Go check them out. In the meantime, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. That'll tell YouTube it was a good video and more people should see it. If you want to see some more of this guy, hit that subscribe button and ding that bell. If you ding the bell, it lets YouTube know that you want to be notified when I upload videos. These incredible people here are my patrons from Patreon, and every week I'll babble on about how awesome they are because they are awesome. And without them, I would not still be doing this for a living. If you want to be one of those incredible people, you can do that at either Patreon or buy me a one-off beer at PayPal, and either way, I will genuinely love you forever. These are my Facebooks and my Twitters and my Instagrams and my TikToks too. Come and hang out there and we can be best friends. See you next time. And risk should be assessed before... Paul Hibbert, the same jokes every week! I'm sorry I haven't done that, but a lot of you will probably be using... Pardon, I've just spit everywhere. Why not? Jibber, 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 jabber.